When I train personally, I can sweat quite easily. So unlike a famous British prince that supposedly doesn't sweat. Yeah, all right then.
North perimeter. Shots fired.
Welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to be covering what I would say 3 essential bits of kit, which I think if you're in the gym-based environment or even if it's at home, 3 bits of kit that are priceless to use and utilize in your training program, because they do add just complexity, diversity, and scalability to your workouts, from progression to making workouts more challenging and progressively overloading them, and then just for comfort and ease of use. So let's start with the first one. The first one is got to be liquid chalk. Now, when I train personally, I can sweat quite easily. So unlike a famous British prince that supposedly doesn't sweat. Yeah, all right then. Anyway, liquid chalk. Best purchase I think you can make from an ancillary. You can use it in any form of training for grip related activities. It just helps to get better purchase on your dumbbells, on your bars, on the rings, which you've all seen me use, pull-ups, any form of training. Just when you're getting more grip fatigue from sweating and you want to get more purchase to be able to move more weight, move it more safely, feel more comfort and confidence, probably is the word I'm going to use. For gripping, you only need a small amount on the hands as well. So I won't demo it, but you only need a small drop in the palm of the hand. A lot goes a long way. Does it have benefits compared to powdered chalk? Yes and no. I know a lot of people like powdered chalk. I like powdered chalk, but using it in other people's gyms, it gets everywhere.
Oh, sorry, fruits. Bit of a dust up. Love to stay and clean up. Got to go. Bye now.
You know, there's no way to contain the usage of it. So would I prefer to use liquid chalk, which I apply it once, and I'd only have to apply it once, maybe twice a session, depending on how much work I'm doing. And it's like a bottle will last me months. It lasts me months. Literally, that's not even an exaggeration.
Cap.
So I think about £10 a bottle, it works out for a size that big. So is it worth it? Yeah. If it's going to cost you for 6 months, it's like less than £2 a month. It's a no-brainer. And for the benefit that I've had from this, again, because like I say, I perspire, my hands get sweaty, grip fatigues. This is just a game changer. And it's a really weird point of it. It's got kind of an antimicrobial benefit as well because of the alcohol that's in it. Now, I've seen a lot of people in public gyms that go to the toilet and don't wash their hands.
I hate them all.
A hell of a lot, and I challenge a lot of them about them. On my Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see me talk about this in my story. Just absolutely rancid behaviour, absolute weapon behaviour from people that do that. And because this is kind of a bit an antimicrobial, saves you having to carry potentially sanitizer, because touching public gym kit, you don't know what someone's been doing, where their hands have been in the chocolate starfish. So yeah, liquid chalk, number 1, make it the absolute priority. I think of all these things I'm going to show you, this is the beauty, this one right here. So number 2, if you are primarily a calisthenic based athlete or you're hybrid, I think a good weight belt is an absolute game changer. Now this is the Kensui belt, right, which I've done a separate video on. But the wonderful thing about this belt is not only can you use it for your weighted calisthenics movements, so I will demonstrate when I find where to open it, which is here. So make sure that I've got it lined up right. The reason why I'm such a fan of this belt is, in terms of comfort, it is the comfiest belt I've ever owned. I've owned the classic leather weightlifting belts with the chain, you know, the diode type, and when you start loading heavier, you find that the leather starts to hit into the hips, specifically on top of the hip bones right here. It can get quite uncomfortable. The chain, I've had the chain snag on my thighs on one of my balls once. It was the worst experience ever because it was with a heavy weight as well, so didn't know what to do, like sheer panic mode. This kind of alleviates that risk. So the wonderful thing about adding a weighted belt is, a good one at least, is, I'll show you something else as well with it as well. So a good weighted belt, especially as the progression model with calisthenics into weighted calisthenics and street lifting is getting more popular, it's kind of a must, it's kind of needed. So it enables you to take your exercises such as your press ups and add weight when you found unweighted no longer challenging, or you're sort of plateauing a bit. You can add this variation. Now the wonderful thing is you can also do it for your rows on the back, so you can weight it, adjust the belt round. Just makes them everyday movements which get overlooked, instead of thinking you've got to keep jumping up on a bench press or like weighted heavy dumbbell pressing or on a machine. For example, if you don't have access to those things at home, but you've got some free weights, you've got a weight belt and your rings, you're good to go, you're golden. You can do so much with them. Now, one thing that I will add, this has only been a recent purchase, so I'm not going to say that it's necessary, but these U-clips have come out now, if you can see them, where you can convert an ordinary barbell into a landmine with them. You can use a couple of them at home, but I like this primarily for if I'm doing weighted stuff with a dumbbell or a heavier kettlebell. One of the old frustrations was the load moving about, and I'll demonstrate it after. So that's relatively stable in the sense that it's going to hold the dumbbell pretty flat and not have to be, I can just hook that straight on and go. Whereas previously, point being, if I use it without the U-clip, like I've got to wrap this around, because you can see it's just, well, I've got to loop it around more than once, and then it's going to be positioned somewhere where I don't ideally want it to be. Makes it a bit more time consuming, can be frustrating. I'm not saying it's game ending for training, but that U-clip, the stability that it provides in terms of, you know, just holding the weight flat while you do your movements, and you can drop it straight to the floor, pick it back up if you've got heavier dumbbells. And sometimes, like I found when I've done plated, like heavy dips, plated heavy pull-ups, resting the plates down and like trying to stop them falling over, trying to decouple the belt while they're flip-flopping everywhere, it can be frustrating, just an added headache. That kind of simplifies it if you just want to use one single heavy dumbbell, like 30, 40 kilo, over getting numerous weight plates. So yeah, I'm not saying it's on this list, but I just thought I'd highlight it while I'm doing this on the video. Coming back to the belt itself, again, super comfortable, but one thing is as well, what I'll add from the Kensui one is, let's say I take the loop strap off and I'm going to do more of a heavier back squat or a deadlift, for example, bring it higher up. I can actually spin that round actually, so I can adjust it easier. I can get my compression here so that I've got better intra-abdominal pressure. Bracing, so when I take a deeper breath, it compresses my abdomen into the belt. So if I'm squatting heavier, and I used it for the first time about 2 or 3 weeks ago when I had a bit of a back injury. I think I had a bit of a bulging disc. This was great. I haven't used a belt in years because I didn't want to put a big cumbersome belt in my bag if I didn't need one. But now that I've got this and it can use that function, I really do think it's a bit of a game changer for everyone to consider. So yeah, the Kensui belt, and again, I'm not sponsored by Kensui. I do like some of their kit though. I'm going to mention one of the other things in the next bit as well. But yeah, good addition. Number 2 on the list. Get one purchased and add it in your bag, your everyday gym carry, and you'll be good. Which brings me on to The final bit of kit, which I'm a huge fan of, is, I've done a separate video on these, but I'm just gonna give them another head in the spotlight because I do like the versatility of them. So the Kensui Swizzes, these are the V2 Max, the neutral grip. I do have the angle modifiers in there, but they're on its own video, you can check that out. Now, the reason why I'm a big fan of these, again, it actually comes down to this bit of grip fatigue issue that you can get and comfort with some of the conventional handles or getting the gym on cable machines. One of my biggest bugbears is, it may be a good example, it may not. So let's take this TRX handle, for example. Let's not take this TRX handle, for example, because it's attached to that, but hopefully you'll see it. So most gym handles that attach to cables have this rotating handle on it. Now, it doesn't necessarily make it, you know, a no deal, but sometimes it can be unwinding, it can make it more challenging. And if I'm trying to get a good leverage on this handle and I'm starting to fatigue a bit, it's going to start to unravel my wrist ever so slightly, you know. So if you have got tired forearms, it can make the everyday exercise you can only do fresh a bit more challenging. Where these come into their own, the Kensui, is that purchase is the same, and I've got pretty much a false grip. So I've got that maintained false grip as long as I've got the strength in my arm, and I can pull. I can pull that. Showing off.
I have the power!
Yeah, that's why I like them. Also, for when doing pull-ups, I have never done neutral grip pull-ups with this level of comfort when I've done them. It's just, I feel like you get such a good purchase on the handle. And again, I'm not even chalked up. No chalk on my hands. There's a bit transferred from when I've trained with them, but I don't need it. I actually don't need the chalk because they've got this wonderful nailing, and you can attach them with the eyelet, which is right there, onto your cable machine. So you can still do your rows, you can do your pull downs, you can do your grip strength carrying for farmers carrying, loading up with a dumbbell because they've got a relatively big aperture. So you can do carrying with them, you can put a loop strap on, carry away. I've actually used them as well with a loop strap through some weight plates, do some kettlebell swings, well, Kensui handle swings. So yeah, in terms of an everyday carry for, again, small footprint, very light. So if you travel, you can take them with you to whatever gym because they'll be useful on any cable-based machine. And actually, coming back to if you do enjoy using machines, for example, so if you've got a lat pull down and you want to modify the grip of the handle, there you go. You can just slot that over the existing handle. So whether you want to go pronated, depending on how the handle's set up, or neutral, or supinated, and using the angle modifiers in case the handle is already a bit offset. Makes it easy, you know. In fact, let's go and do an example in there while we're here. One sec. Here's the lat pull down machine I built earlier. So, as I was mentioning earlier, so let's say you want to sit down on the machine and you don't really want to be doing the pronated grip. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just giving you an example. You can drop on the Kensuis like so, and you can go, I've got offset weights here, but never mind. Go into the neutral pull. And it just gives you versatility and options when you're training to use a different grip handle. Changes up the machine, changes a bit of the pulling mechanics, so you can bias. You can't isolate necessarily because you're going to get lat activation, rhomboids, traps. You're not going to isolate it perfectly because the body is a system, but you can just preferentially orientate to a stronger pulling pattern or more of a stimulus to what your preferred feeling is when you're training. So yeah, number 3 on the list, Kensui handles from Kensui, as well as the belt. So check them out if you like them. And that's it. 3 bits of kit that I think if you want to keep them in your everyday carry for your gym bag or in your home gym, or when you're traveling around, if you travel weight, go to different gyms, liquid chalk, a good weight belt and weighted calisthenics belt from Kensui, and the Kensui Swizzes grips, because that way you've always going to know you've got something you can use for your training everywhere. And also, you know, for the bonus one, it's always going to be a set of gymnastics rings, but we've done plenty of videos on them, so they didn't need mentioning in this one. But as a bonus bit, if you've not got much stuff at home, again, check out my other videos going into depth onto why I'm such a fan of them. But that'd be the bonus one if you wanted to carry them around in your suitcase, traveling all over the world training, and you want to get the benefits of making your training more comfortable, more progressively overloadable, and more enjoyable, you could say. Those things are going to give you a really broad range of what you can use and how to use them. So yeah, if you like the video, drop us a like, make sure you subscribed, and I'd love to know what you would put in your top 3 bits of kit down in the comments below. Bosh.